Imagine a world so far from the sun that its light takes more than 5 hours just to reach it. A place so cold, minus 230 degrees, that if you poured a glass of water there, it wouldn't just freeze, it would turn harder than solid rock in a single second. And on this world, one single year lasts 248 of ours. Think about that. If you had been born there, you still wouldn't have had your first birthday. This is Pluto. For 76 years, we called it the 10th planet. And then we threw it out. But here's what nobody tells you. The day we finally went to look at this rejected little world, it turned out to be more alive than anyone ever dreamed. If you've ever looked up at a clear night sky, you know how vast our solar system really is. 8 planets circle our sun: Mercury, Venus, our own Earth, then Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. But for most of the last century, there was a 9th name on that list, the smallest, the most distant, the one at the very edge of everything: Pluto. And then in 2006, scientists made a decision that broke a lot of hearts. They took Pluto's name off the list. They called it a dwarf planet. So what happened? How do you demote an entire world? To understand that, we have to go back to the beginning, to the day a 23-year-old farm boy changed the map of the solar system forever. The year is 1930. A young American astronomer, just 23 years old, sits inside an observatory in Arizona. His job is simple and brutal: photograph the night sky night after night and search for anything that moves. Back then, there were no computers. He would take 2 photographs of the same patch of sky on different nights and flick between them by hand, back and forth, looking for a single point of light that had shifted. Because stars are so far away, they never seem to move. But a planet is close enough to drift. And on the night of February 18th, 1930, he saw it. A faint speck of light far beyond Neptune that had moved. Weeks of checking. Then on March 13th, the world was told, "We have found a new planet, but a new world needs a name." And the name that stuck came from an 11-year-old girl in England. Her grandfather told her about the new planet at the far edge of the sun's reach. A place so distant, so dark, that sunlight barely touched it. And she suggested Pluto, the ancient god of the underworld, the ruler of darkness. For a frozen world lost in eternal twilight, it was perfect. And so Pluto took its place, the 9th planet. For the next 76 years, every child who learned the solar system learned its name. So why was it cast out? It comes down to 3 rules. In 2006, the world's astronomers gathered and agreed, to be a real planet, an object must do 3 things. 1, it must orbit the sun. 2, it must be big enough that its own gravity pulls it into a round shape. And 3, it must have cleared its own path through space, no other large objects sharing its lane. Pluto passes the first 2 easily. It orbits the sun, it's round. But the 3rd rule is where it fails. Because Pluto lives in a crowded place called the Kuiper belt, a vast ring at the edge of the solar system filled with thousands of icy worlds, all sharing its space. Pluto never cleared its path. And so, by a single rule, the 9th planet became a dwarf. But here's the thing, many scientists still disagree. To this day, they argue the rule is wrong and that Pluto deserves its crown back. And honestly, after what we found there, it's hard not to agree. So just how small is this world we fought over? Pluto is smaller than our own moon. Let that sink in. The moon you see in the sky tonight is bigger than the world we once called a planet. Its width is just over 2,000 kilometers. You could line up 6 Plutos side by side, and they still wouldn't stretch as wide as the Earth. A tiny, frozen speck, 4 billion miles away. So small, so far, so easy to dismiss. Which is exactly why what happened next stunned the entire world. In 2006, the same year Pluto lost its title, NASA launched a spacecraft called New Horizons. It was the fastest object we had ever flung into space. faster than a rifle bullet, screaming away from Earth at nearly 60,000 kilometers an hour. And even at that insane speed, it took 9.5 years to get there. That alone tells you how unimaginably far Pluto truly is. Then, in July 2015, it arrived, and it sent home the first clear photographs of Pluto we had ever seen. And there, printed across the surface of this cold, rejected little world, was an enormous, perfect heart. A bright plain of frozen nitrogen, so large it could swallow 2 of America's biggest states. The world we threw away was wearing its heart on its face, and it only got stranger. Pluto has an atmosphere, thin, fragile, but real, and it does something no other world quite does. When Pluto drifts closer to the sun, the ice on its surface warms just enough to turn into gas, lifting up to form a sky. And when Pluto swings back into the deep cold, that gas freezes and falls again, settling gently back onto the ground. It rises, it falls, it rises again, as if this little world is breathing. The closer we looked, the less Pluto behaved like a dead rock. There are mountains here, towering peaks over 3 kilometers high, but they aren't made of stone. They're made of water ice, frozen so hard in the brutal cold that it behaves like solid rock. Between them flow glaciers, not of water, but of nitrogen ice, creeping slowly across the surface. And the color? Most people imagine Pluto as white or gray, but it isn't. Pluto glows a deep red-brown, painted by strange organic compounds born when sunlight strikes the methane in its sky. This is not the dead snowball we expected. This is a world with weather, with seasons, with a face that changes. And here is the part that truly shocks scientists. Pluto is geologically active, right now, today. That giant heart of ice isn't frozen still. It churns and flows, slowly turning itself over like a glacier in ultra-slow motion. There may even be cryovolcanoes down there, volcanoes that don't erupt fire and lava, but ice and water. 4 billion miles from the sun, in the coldest dark, something is still moving, still working, still alive in a way we never thought possible. Which brings us to the biggest question of all. Could there be life on Pluto? If you mean life like ours, animals, plants, people, then no. The cold would kill anything in an instant, and the air is far too thin to breathe. But some scientists believe Pluto may be hiding a secret. Deep beneath that frozen surface, an ocean, a hidden sea of liquid water. It sounds impossible, an ocean in the coldest place we've ever visited. But here's the science. Pluto's rocky core may contain radioactive elements, slowly decaying, releasing heat for billions of years. Enough heat to melt the ice above into water. And on our own Earth, in the pitch-black deep sea, where no sunlight ever reaches, life thrives around volcanic vents, feeding on chemistry instead of light. So if those same conditions exist beneath Pluto's ice, then maybe, just maybe, we are not as alone as we think. So why does this little world matter so much? Because Pluto reminds us of something we keep forgetting. That science isn't a list of fixed facts. It's a story that keeps changing. What was true yesterday may not be true today, and the world we cast out may yet reclaim its crown. It was found by a farm boy of 23 and named by a girl of 11. Proof that wonder doesn't care how old you are. Will we ever stand on Pluto ourselves? With today's technology, almost certainly not in our lifetime. It is simply too far, too cold, too distant a dream. But science moves fast, and maybe 50 years from now, 100, someone will finally look up at that frozen heart, not through a camera 4 billion miles away, but with their own eyes. A tiny world at the edge of everything, with mountains of ice, rivers of nitrogen, a heart on its surface, and perhaps an ocean hidden in the dark. Pluto reminds us that the universe is still full of things we don't understand. And that, maybe, is the most beautiful part of all. How much is still left to discover? If this little world earned a place in your heart too, subscribe and come with us, because every week we travel somewhere new.